We should be live. So, hello and welcome to another segment in our tier list series where we go through all of the Disney animated film movie eras. But first, chat, if you could please let me know how I'm sounding. We have upgraded the equipment here in the Fiasco office, and I've already done tests and it sounds good, but I want to make sure this is the first time I'm going live with this new equipment. So please let me know. Please let me know how I am sounding to you. Be very, very helpful. Be very, very helpful if you could let me know. But first and foremost, these videos are brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. Let our travel experts help you plan the vacation of your dreams. Visit them on the web at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. All that information and more in the description down below. But we started roughly 3 weeks ago, and we have people saying sounds great, sounds clear, video looks good too. Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. But we started about 3 weeks ago with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937, and we have since worked our way up all the way to 2001, and today we're going to wrap up this era series with not all, but most of the animated films from 2001 to 2020. And yes, we are early today. Tink says we are early today. We are a little early today. I was getting antsy. I had everything set up and I wanted to go. And here we are. So if you guys could give this stream a thumbs up, it does help us a bunch. And we'll give everybody a few more minutes to join on in with us today, and we will get started. If you have never joined one of these streams before, basically, let me give you the lowdown real quick. We have a live chat going on right now, and we have our tier list, which we will pull up on the screen right now for everybody to see. Here it is. So we have our tier list. I am going to be pulling movies up on the screen. This is just to show you. We're not actually doing our grading just yet, but I'm going to be pulling movies up on the screen. And chat's job is to tell me where this movie belongs. So we have our rankings here. We have top tier. That is the best of the best. Those are the movies that stack up the best to the other things in its category, and the other things in its category are all the animated films from 2001 to right now, being the most recent Frozen 2. Our A-listers are those movies that could almost be considered the best of the best, but are just missing something. They're not missing much. They're almost the best, but not quite. The B tier is, again, great movies, really beloved, great in their own right, but just not the best of the best. And then C, kind of middle of the pack, and then D and F, they fall short. They fall a little or a lot short. While we're getting people joining the chat now, just kind of go over the era with you. So we have the post-Disney Renaissance, as well as the revival period. So previous list, we had the Bronze Age and the Disney Renaissance. So the Bronze Age was kind of like a little bit of a rough patch for the animation studio. And then the Renaissance, of course, was like where the Disney animation studio really kind of took off and soared to new heights, heavily due to the musical influences that were put into the movies like Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Lion King and Beauty and the Beast, that really took the studio to a new level. However, moving on into the post-Renaissance, we have a little bit more of a struggle. The studio did really well through, Hercules and Mulan, and then we're moving into kind of a tougher time with movies like, I still like these movies, but movies like Atlantis, Lilo and Stitch, Brother Bear, Home on the Range. These movies didn't do as well. As well, Disney started to pump out a lot of sequels to their already popular titles. And those sequels were done at a pretty low budget. Also, not doing that well, being straight to home releases. But then, moving out of that post-Renaissance age around the Bolt time frame, we move into the revival era where we have movies like Princess and the Frog, we have Tangled, we have Frozen, we have Big Hero 6, Zootopia, Mallanna, where the movies really start to get fire again. But chat is bumping now. Hello, everybody saying hi to me. Hi, Allison. Hi, Starix. Hey, Mom. My mom's in chat. Haley's in chat as well. Tink D, of course. Always one of the first people in our tier list chats. Paul C. Amanda. Andrea. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody joining us in the chat today. Love that you're here to join us. And I think, without any further ado, we can go ahead and get started. Oh, yeah, by the way, Miss Magical Monica just said sing-along right now. So if you were a member of our Patreon, if you're a member of Patreon, which there's a link to the description below as well, I started to do little sing-alongs. So up on Patreon right now for all supporters, so even if you're just pledging like $1, you can hear me sing my rendition of A Whole New World. And just one more thing before we get started, because I saw a few comments mentioning it. Gonna address the elephant in the room. Yes, my hair is missing. I don't know where it went. Just woke up one day. Just kidding, no. I buzzed it, gave myself a buzz cut. I was trying to give myself, because I've done it before when I was in the service, I was just trying to give myself a nice haircut, but I faded too far up. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take it all off, and gave myself a nice buzz cut. I think it looks fine. I think it looks all right, and it'll grow back, so nothing to worry about there. But now that that's been addressed and your concerns have been relieved, I will start this off with Atlantis. So, our first movie, starting off, is Atlantis. Tom Bell says, and guys, by the way, you can just start firing off your answers for where you think Atlantis belongs on this list. Tom Bell in the chat says, do you sing both Aladdin and the Jasmine part? Well, I was singing the song, and I decided to sing the Jasmine part, but then trying to go back and forth with Aladdin and Jasmine, you'll hear that I actually mess up, and then I just sing the Aladdin part from there on out. But it's funny. It's a funny listen. All right, our votes are coming in for Atlantis, with many C's and many D's right off the bat, with even some B's coming in, some B's trickling in as well. Someone even saying definitely A. But right now, the most said answer is D's and C's with many B's. Quite a number of B's. Actually, B is really coming in strong now, but right now the average is still a C. All right, the average right now is an obvious C. I think this is a great comment, so we're going to highlight it. It is definitely an underrated classic. I agree, Tim. But our answer for Atlantis as it stands right now is a solid, middle-of-the-pack, C-tier movie. That is the obvious answer from chat, and that is where it is going to go. And if, again, this is your first time here, we don't just say movies are locked into the first place they go. They can always come back for reevaluation later if enough people ask for it. But with that being said, we move on to our next movie. This is Peter Pan, Return to Neverland. Like I mentioned, Disney pumped out after the Renaissance and the post-Renaissance era a lot of sequels to their hit movies that had such a low budget. And this is kind of an example of that. If you've never seen Peter Pan Return to Neverland, I mean, let's let chat speak for it. Chat, where does Return to Neverland belong? Now, the original Peter Pan in our classic tier list reached all the way to the top tier. But Return to Neverland, not the same movie. Not the same movie at all. So, chat, let's see what you are saying. Lots of D's, even many F's and some C's. A few A's trickling in there, but D's and F's, the overwhelming majority, with the most said answer being D. All right, so Peter Pan, Return to Neverland, D tier. And I think we're starting off with a solid spread. If you've never seen Return to Neverland, lucky you. That's our top tier comment for the moment. As we move on to our next film, which I think deserves a much higher rating than we've given so far, and but chat will decide. That is Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch. I think Lilo and Stitch ranking up with the other movies in this post-Renaissance era, I would say is the best. If it was paired up against the movies in the revival era, like Princess and the Frog, Tangled, Zootopia, I think it would fare to do worse than them. But this is a post-Renaissance movie, and I think of the post-Renaissance movies, it's potentially the best one. So, Paul C., thank you for those dashes. We have Lilo and Stitch votes already coming in the chat. With B, A, top tier, A, B. Lots of good ratings for Lilo and Stitch coming in, with the most said answer right now being an A, but also many top tiers and many Bs. And for those of you who have not been here before, to kind of to let you know how top tier kind of works. So right now we have how many people viewing? We have about 200 people in chat. If a movie gets, I'd say about 30 top tier votes with that many people, it's top tier, without a doubt. But right now, Stitch is looking like our first A-lister. I think this is an obvious A-lister based on the current votes and chats. And with that being said, I might just have to consider recording my rendition of Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride. I sing it all day anyways, I really do. All day I sing that song, and it drives Haley bananas. As we move on to our next film, which is Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet. This is another underrated movie from the post-Renaissance era that many people have not seen. So chat, what say you? Where does Treasure Planet belong? And yeah, I feel like, we get these ratings for Treasure Planet coming in. I feel like Stitch has such a mixed bag of feelings. Either you love him or you don't. I'm in the love boat. I love Stitch. I don't like all the like. I've tried to watch a lot of the Stitch spin-off stuff with Angel and stuff, and I could never really like get into it where they have like all the experiments. But the original Lilo and Stitch movie is a total bop. It's great. It's great in my opinion. But here comes Treasure Planet votes. D, F, B, C, B. What a spread already. B, D, B, F, D. Wow. A, C, A, F, C. That is a huge, huge spread of votes. And right now, the most said answer is a C. I would put Treasure Planet a little bit ahead of that, but right now, as it stands in chat, Treasure Planet is going to be a C, with requests to move Atlantis up. So we're saying that Atlantis is a better movie than Treasure Planet? Okay. I will take that and I will roll with it right now because I've already seen at least 3 people say it. So, chat. Let's do our first reevaluation. Are we going to have Atlantis go up, down, or stay? So, reevaluating Atlantis. Do you want it to go up, down, or stay? All right, the votes are starting to come in. We have a down, a stay, an up, a stay, up, up, stay, down, up, down, stay, up. It's close. It's really close. Stay, down, stay, up. I don't think there's enough of a majority to push it up right now. It looks like, for now, Atlantis is going to have to stay. All right. And we can always come back to it as the list fleshes out a little bit more, but as of right now, that's not enough to push it up. As we move on to our next film, another sequel, Jungle Book 2. Now, Jungle Book 2 is one that I don't even remember watching. I don't even remember this. But I'm going to leave that up to you, chat. Do you remember Jungle Book 2? And is it in the boat of many of these sequels where it just wasn't that great? And thanks again, Paul C. I saw those slashes come in right as I pressed enter. But I appreciate you. So Jungle Book 2, everybody. Where does this belong? All right, let's see what we're working with. Never saw it. B, oof, F. I like that comment. It's a top tier comment for the moment. D, F, D, C. Never saw. B, B, F, 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 B, D, F, D, D. Okay, this is, I think, our lowest rated so far, with the most said score being a D with a close second to being an F. With all the other, there's a few positives, but most of the other comments are never seen it. But the people who have seen it are either giving it mostly D's and F's. So with that being said, I think that did even worse than Peter Pan. So for now, that is the bottom of our list. Could always get moved up maybe one notch. Probably not more than that. But right now, it's an F. Yep, just a cash grab. A lot of those sequels were kind of just cash grabs. As we move on to an original, Brother Bear. Now this is obviously better than just a cash grab sequel. But how much better is it? I think this is an underrated movie. I would call this an underrated movie. Do I think it's a top tier movie? No. Underrated though? Absolutely. And chat, I want to know what you think. Because your votes are what put these movies into their list. Chat, where is Nature Calling to go? Saturday, November 1st, only in theaters. And here we go. The votes are trickling in. CAB, CB, top A, CBBA, DBB, top A, BBC. Right now, our most riddled up answer is a solid B. With also some generous top tier votes as well. But definitely the most voted for answer is a B. And I think B for Brother Bear is a very fitting rating. And that is where it is going to land. As we move on to a flop. But maybe some of you love it. Maybe some of you love it. But we've had this discussion in one of our previous tier lists of people being very excited and very enthusiastic to give their opinion on Home on the Range. So, here's your opportunity now. Go ahead and give your opinion on Home on the Range, as I see these scores already starting to flow in quite quickly. And that was the most consensus that we have gotten thus far for a movie rating. Home on the Range is a guaranteed F. That is the most Fs that maybe I have ever seen in any of our tier lists so far. F for Farm, you just earned a top tier comment right there. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. F for Farm, that is right. That might have been the most, might have been the most negative consensus we have had on a tier list so far. We've had more positive ones with movies like Lion King and Aladdin and stuff that just like overwhelmingly got top tier. But as far as negative goes, that is our most negative consensus thus far. So yeah, Chloe says, so I shouldn't check it out on Disney Plus, huh? Well, yeah, so that's another good point. This is a big part of why we're doing these lists right now, because a lot of people are home watching streaming services. So I think this would be great to figure out movies that you haven't seen yet, what you can skip out on, and then what you might want to check out. And if for any reason you haven't seen the other lists, you can always check our playlist tab on YouTube. We have a playlist called Tier List where you can check out all the tier lists that we did previously as well. As I move on to another movie that I just don't remember watching. I don't remember this one, guys. This is a Winnie the Pooh movie. The Heffalump. In theaters February 2005. Don't remember this one. Really, really don't. But I'm counting on you, chat. I'm counting on you. For those of you that remember the Heffalump. Tom Bell says, proves that even Alan Menken can flop. All right, let's see. Mouse and Mermaid says, is Jungle Book really as bad as Home on the Range? Jungle Book is great. That F rating is for Jungle Book 2. I believe we gave Jungle Book 1 an A tier rating. That was for its cash grab counterpart. The sequel that didn't need to be. All right, but our ratings for Heffalump. CCF. F, F, C. CCF. Right now it's all C's and F's. And we have some D's coming in too. Brooke says F, it's so bad. And like, I don't remember this movie at all, so I'm just going off of completely what you guys are saying right now. And right now it looks like we might have another F movie. Because while D's are trickling in now, F is the most said answer by a margin. Elliot Reynolds says C. It's Pooh. It deserves some respect. Okay. I can't give my opinion on that because I haven't seen it, but F's are a huge majority. So, the Heffalump movie gets an F as well. And I think, unlike our last list, that was very top-heavy, and we started off with a lot of top-tier and A-list movies. This list is doing the opposite, where we have a bottom-heavy list with many, many low-rated movies to start off. And I don't know if that's going to change much with this next title. But I know there's a lot of people who really bat for this movie. I'm a big fan of the underrated classics from this generation. However, my personal opinion, this is not one of them for me. But I know some people absolutely adore this little guy. But chat, where do we stand today? Chicken Little. Where is Chicken Little going to end up? The end is near. This time the sky really is falling. Is the sky going to fall on Chicken Little and put him in a lower tier? Or is he going to hit a grand slam? Let's see. Let's see. I didn't like this movie. As the scores are coming in now, I'll just tell you right now, I didn't like this movie. For me, it felt like not a Disney movie. It felt like something that like came out of DreamWorks or something. Not Disney. D, C, D, D, F, B, F, F, C, C, D, F. Top tier. F, B, B, F, F. Oh my, OMG trash. F, A. Okay. Right now the most said answer is D. And I think that's fair for poor little Chicken Little. F and C are both very close seconds, but I think that just further staples in that D average. So that's where he's going to go, and I think that's fair. I think Chicken Little belongs above Home on the Range, but definitely below Atlantis and Treasure Planet. Definitely. As we move on to another low-budget sequel, Bambi 2. I believe in our classic tier list, Bambi did fairly well. It's maybe somewhere around the A or B range, I want to say. Where does its low-budget sequel belong? Bambi 2. Chicken Little had a few supporters that were upset by his rating, but sometimes Mouse and Mermaid just made a really cool suggestion. Put it up at the top tier comment. Can we do a Disney song tier list? I love that idea. I love that idea. I think that might be something that, I don't know if that's the next one we'll do, because there were some other suggestions that people put in the comment section of the last video, but that is definitely on my list now. I love that suggestion, and that would be a lot of fun, especially because I like to sing. My voice is garbage, but I like to use it anyways. So that could be a really fun live. All right, Bambi 2. F, D, A. Oh no, somebody's saying no way Lilo and Stitch is an A. Bambi 2 didn't get an A. It's overwhelming F's and D's. It's either F, D, or never saw it, or some generous C's. Another overwhelming F. F is the most said answer by far. And again, just for clarification, if you're just coming in late, this is for Bambi 2, not Bambi 1. Bambi 1 did quite well in our original classics tier list. This is for its low-budget sequel. The low-budget sequel is getting an F. Okay, but I think we can do a better, more positive rating on this one. Meet the Robinsons. Now, if you didn't know from the previous list that I've been doing, we're doing all these movies in chronological order. So the order that they're coming up on the screen is the order they were released. Meet the Robinsons kind of got the short end of the stick because of what it came out around. So go ahead and look at the tier list we've built so far. Meet the Robinsons came out with things like, during the time of things like Chicken Little, the Heffalump movie, the Bambi and Jungle Book sequel, and Home on the Range. So when this movie came out, it was kind of just dismissed as, you know, Disney's kind of slacking on their releases. And many people just didn't go watch it because of that reason. But this is a gem, guys. The votes are already starting to come in, and we already have enough of a pool to pull from for me to like give my hard opinion on this movie. I think we have enough to give my hard opinion on this movie. This is a gem. This movie, like, the ending, like, just brought me to tears, which Disney movies do. Like, I am a grown man that will proudly proclaim that I do cry at Disney movies. That's fine. I think that's okay. And Meet the Robinsons did that as well. I think it's an inspiring movie, an absolute gem. And I would argue from the post-Renaissance era, next to Stitch, the best that we've covered so far. As the ratings come in, we have A, C, my wife giving it a C, C, A, B, A, B. Okay, so we got some good ratings for Meet the Robinsons, which is awesome. Right now, the most said answer is A, but there is also a side of this where people are giving it low ratings. I'm still making my way through chat trying to catch up. But right now, A is definitely the overwhelming majority, and it's only getting more overwhelming as I scroll. Almost catching up, and I'm pretty caught up. It's an A. It's still an A. Wow, the chat's going on longer than I thought it would. Okay. Meet the Robinsons. Paul C says, even bikers cry, Fiasco. Thanks, Paul. You're the top tier comment. Appreciate that. Meet the Robinsons is our next A-lister, up with Lilo and Stitch. Tink says that we need to give Lilo and Stitch top tier. I'm willing to explore that if we just wait a minute. Because I think We haven't crowned any top tier movies yet, and that's kind of what I expected to happen. Because right now, after our next film here, we're about to move into the revival era. And it's called the revival era for a reason. It's called the revival era because the studio gets revived. So this, I'm putting Bolt up on the screen right now, and you guys can all start putting your votes in for Bolt. But after Bolt, the studio kind of goes through its revival. With movies like, Princess and the Frog, Tangled, Frozen, Zootopia, Mallanna. And I think top tier candidates are going to become obvious in a minute. And once we start to flush out this list with the top tiers, I'd be cool with reviewing Stitch once it's obvious where the bar is set. All right, both votes are coming in. John Travolta and Miley Cyrus. Can they be fully awesome this 2008? All right, let's see. Both votes. B, A, F, D, C, F. Top tier. C, D, B, D, B, A, C, 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 B, D, C, A, C, D, F, C. Right now, Bolt's most said answer is C. As I catch up with chat and make sure we get this right. It looks like Bolt almost got a B for Bolt. It looks like Bolt almost got a B for Bolt. However, it's just not the average. The average is an apparent C for Cyrus. So, with that being said, Bolt goes into the C tier with Atlantis and Treasure Planet. So, as we move on, this is our list so far. This has covered the post-Renaissance era. Before we move into the revival era, let's take a look at what our list has come to thus far. We have in the top tier nothing. We have crowned no top tier movies in the post-Renaissance era, but we have some A-listers with Lilo and Stitch and Meet the Robinsons. Our B tier, B for Brother Bear, sitting there alone at the moment. Our C's with Atlantis, Treasure Planet, and Bolt. Our D tier with Peter Pan, Return to Neverland, and Chicken Little. And our F tier, a couple sequel cash grabs with Jungle Book 2 and Bambi 2, the Huffalump movie, and Home on the Range. That is our list so far. And with that list, we move on to the revival era, the first movie being Princess and the Frog. Moving into the revival era, are we going to start crowning our first top tier contenders? Are we going to do it? Starting off with Princess and the Frog. And we are getting some requests to do things like move Stitch up and move Treasure Planet up. We will reevaluate. We will reevaluate some of these movies. I just want to set the bar. I think with especially these next 5 titles, we're going to set the bar we haven't set the bar yet. And these, I think, are going to do it. So, let me see what you rated Princess and the Frog. Make sure I catch up to the top of chat. And we have A, top tier. A, B, A, B, A, B, A, top tier. A, top tier, B, top tier, A. Right now, the most said answer is an overwhelming A. An overwhelming A. So, we have about 16 top tiers. That is the most top tier votes so far, rightfully so. And as I'm catching up with the chat, there's even more. I'm looking at about 21, 22. I think that's enough top tiers. The most said answer is A, but we're looking at over 30 top tiers. So, with that being said, our first top tier has been crowned with Princess and the Frog, the first movie in the revival era. And I think, as we move forward, she's not going to be the only one. We have my favorite. If you know me, you already know that it is. So, let that out there right now. We are now going to vote for Fiasco's absolute favorite movie. You already know where I would put this. Tangled. Where does Tangled go? In chat, there's only one place for it to go. There's only one place for it to go. You better put it there. And at last I see the light, and it's like the fog has lifted. And at last I see the light. Tangled got the most top tiers. There it goes. Tangled got the most top tiers so far. So you guys got a song. And that was an easy one. That was an easy one. If you haven't seen, so this is a great way to like kind of pause and reflect on our list so far. You have Disney Plus. And you haven't seen Tangled, Princess and the Frog, Lilo and Stitch, or Meet the Robinsons. Chat's telling you to check them out. I'm telling you to check them out. You gotta see them. They're must-watch films for any Disney fan. Must watch. As we move on to what I would say, I remember this title. This was a good Winnie the Pooh. I mean, I shouldn't be just giving all my opinions as soon as I put the title up on the screen. But oopsie daisy. I hope that doesn't influence people too much as we vote for Winnie the Pooh. If you haven't seen Tangled, I feel so sad for you. Yeah, Samantha. I feel sad too. Gotta see it. Gotta see Tangled, gotta see Princess and the Frog, gotta see... Don't skip Meet the Robinsons. Give it some credit. It's a great movie. It's a gem. If it was a restaurant, it would be The Wave. It'd be The Wave. It's The Wave because you go in, you don't pay that much. You pay like $25 an entree. Like you go in to watch and Meet the Robinsons with not that high of an expectation, but you leave satisfied every time. All right, Winnie the Pooh. Haven't seen it. B, A, A, C, C, B, B, A, C, B, C, B, top, B, A, C, A. Right now, the most said answer for Winnie the Pooh is a solid A-lister. But the spread is wide, and it is far, with every single tier being listed off as a place for this movie to fall. As I catch up with chat more, the most said answer has shifted. It is no longer A, it is B. It is solidly B. Winnie the Pooh is a solid B. That's where it is. It was an A at the start of the voting, but it has since fallen to a obvious B. Miss Magical Monica, that is also a great suggestion. I think maybe that will be something fun to do with the dining show, like kind of combine these tier lists with the dining show, have other people on like Pete, Denny, Sean, and we can do it all together. That would be a lot of fun. I think that would be a lot of fun. And I think maybe what I could do is I could make the straw polls and send them out while because I'll have other people on here, while Pete's talking, I can send the straw polls out the chat and we can have indefinite answers. I think we'll do that. All right. So, that is where Winnie the Pooh is. As I check chat, we have many comments about Bolt. We think Bolt got an unfair jab. So, I've seen at least 3 or 4. That's fine. We will redo Bolt. So, Bolt up, down, or stay. Bolt. It can go up, it can go down, or it can stay. Chat. What say you? What say you? As the votes start trickling in. Up, 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 stay, down, 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 stay. Up, stay, up, up, stay, up, down. Up, down, down. The spread is far and wide. And there is not enough consensus to push it up. I'm sorry for Bolt, but it is still not B for Bolt. It is still C for Cyrus. Not enough consensus overwhelming to push him up. Bolt remains where he remains. But now, we move on to our next film. Did I click it? There it is. Wreck-It Ralph. Not to be confused with its sequel, Ralph Breaks the Internet. This is the original. And I'm sorry, you Bolt fans. I know you guys are disappointed to see your little guy stay in the C tier. But sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Where does Ralph go? Let's see. All right. A, B, A, B, 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 A, B. Top, A. Right now, the most said answer for Wreck-It Ralph is a solid A. And that is not changing much as I catch up with chat, with some top tiers trickling in, and many more Bs trickling in, but just as many As continue to trickle in. And A is the obvious answer. Yeah, it's just overwhelmingly A. So that's an easy one. Wreck-It Ralph takes its place with our A-listers. Now, we have a big one coming up. And I feel like it's time to go over what we're looking at here again before we go into our home stretch. Because as you can see on the screen right now, if you peek up there at the bottom, we have a big one coming up. I feel like it's important to notice the bar. So, our top tier crowned best of the best films in this era are Tangled and Princess and the Frog. Our A-listers being Lilo and Stitch, Meet the Robinsons, and Wreck-It Ralph. Our B-listers being Winnie the Pooh and Brother Bear. Our C-listers, Atlantis, Treasure Planet, and Bolt. Our D-listers, Peter Pan, Return to Neverland, Chicken Little. Our F, bottom of the pack. Our sequels are money-making, not really, money-grabbing, low-budget sequels, Jungle Book and Bambi 2. Not to be confused with the originals. Home on the Range and the Huffalump movie. As we bring on a big name, household name. Everyone knows it. You could never been to the Disney parks. You could not be a Disney fan at all. And you're going to know what this movie is. Is it the most overrated movie? Can it still be the most overrated movie and still be a top tier movie? Chat. This is up to you to decide. Where does Frozen belong? As these votes are coming in now, I can start to kind of give my opinion on it. I think Frozen is the most overrated movie on this list. I think it's the most overrated movie on this list. But I still think it's top tier. I still think, like, it is obviously overrated. Like, it is just, it's beloved by everyone, and the songs are everywhere, the merchandise is everywhere. But I think if you took this movie, removed it from everyone's minds, like it never existed, and re-released it tomorrow, it would be a top-tier movie. People would think it was the best again, and we'd go through the whole process of it being overrated. And I think the reason that Frozen is overrated is because it is that good. But let me see what chat thinks. Shall we scroll up all the way to the top and see where the votes started trickling in? There's a lot of them. Here we go. A, B, top, B. B, B, B. C, top. C, B, top, B. Top, B, top. Top, A, top. C, A. See, Frozen's divided. Right now, the most said answer is top tier. As I continue to catch up, we don't have quite 30, but it is the most said answer is top tier. There's many Bs, though. There's many As. But the most said answer, it remains top tier, and we have surpassed 30 top tiers, which with... Oh, we have 300 people watching now, so we need a few more. The rule we had was 30 top tiers with 200, but with 300 people watching, we need a few more. And yeah, we got them, though. We got them. Frozen's a top tier movie. The most said answer is top tier. Many A's and many C's, but there it is. Plenty top. It didn't get as overwhelming as Tangled, but it's 100%. Oop, not A. Top. We have crowned our next top tier movie overrated. Yes. Does that change how good of a movie it is? Does that change how good the characters, the music, the story is? It does not change that. It is a top tier movie. I agree. Frozen is Great. As we move on to our next film, Big Hero 6, a personal favorite of mine. I love this movie. With its plot holes and all, which it does have them. I still love it. So, let's get those votes in for Big Hero 6. Sorry about that. I gotta put my phone on airplane mode. There we go. Phone's on airplane mode. I'm so popular every time I go live. I don't know. I don't get calls. Nobody calls me throughout the day. Nobody. And then as soon as I go live, everyone calls me. All right. Where are we putting Big Hero 6? You can't not love Baymax. Trying to find where it starts. All right. A, B, D, B, A, B, top A. Right now, the most said answer for Big Hero 6 is A. Catching up with chat, and this is not changing. Lots of B's trickled in with a few top tiers, but A still remains the strongest. Catching up, catching up, catching up. It's an A. Big Hero 6 is a solid A, and I would agree with you completely. This is a, yeah, and for everybody that gave it the good rating, ba-la-la-la-la in chat. Big Hero 6 is one of my absolute favorites, but there are some glaring plot holes that bug me. That other movies don't have. These other top tier movies don't have. If it wasn't for those plot holes, I would say it was a top tier movie. But there's a couple head scratchers that we're left with at the end, if you really think about it. And yeah, I agree with A. As we move on to another heavyweight contender in the revival era. Many people renowned this as the best. I loved it. I don't think it's the best, but many people would argue that it was. Zootopia. Zootopia, another gem of the revival era. Where, chat, does Zootopia belong? And guys, for all you that have done these tier lists with me before, let me know where my voice falls in comparison to my voice in the other lists that we've done. I want to know if my setup has improved dramatically. So with these votes for Zootopia, let me know. Say Fiasco's voice F, C, A, top tier, whatever you think my voice falls right now. I need a ranking for my voice as it would compare to my last tier list. As the Zootopia votes are coming in. Let's see now. Lots of top tiers and lots of A's and B's. I'm about halfway caught up with chat now, looking at about 15 top tiers. Still catching up. Top tier is becoming the most said answer. And it looks like that's where it's going to go. Zootopia. Let me make sure I don't miss these voice comments. Okay. Voice equals good. Fiasco voice is perfect at F. Fiasco's voice A. Fiasco's voice top tier. Voice top tier. Voice A. Voice A. Wonderful. Wonderful. These are things I like to see. All right. Top tier for Zootopia, it is. Okay. Now, I've seen some comments before. We gave Moana at one point in one of our lists the rating of top tier. This is a different list, though, and a different rating to be compared up against, a different pairing of movies. So in this list, Moana. Where's she going to go? She's been staring at the edge of the water as long as she could remember, wondering what chat's going to rate her. I've been staring at the edge of the water long as I can remember. What chat's going to rate me? All right. I like what I'm seeing. I am a big Moana fan as well. And apparently, all I have to do to get chat to rate my favorite movies in the top tier is to sing a song from them. Apparently, that's, if you guys get a song, we get a top tier movie. And I appreciate that. And I'm willing. So there we go. That's an overwhelming top tier. And now, our next film. The sequel to Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Is Ralph going to break the internet today and score a top or A or B tier rating? Or is he going to break the internet and fall short? I like this movie. I enjoyed this movie a lot. But I wouldn't put it at the top. All right, Ralph Breaks the Internet, guys. How good is Ralph's internet connection? Chat, how good is Ralph's internet connection? Let's get a speed test on him. All right. It's a widespread of votes. But right now, the most said answer is B. I'm catching up with chat. There are many A's and C's and D's even, but B is the most said answer. And I think that's fair. I would say that's fair, looking at what we have around the B right now. I'd say that makes a lot of sense. All right, Ralph Breaks the Internet is coming in at a solid B. It was a wide range of votes with a good chunk of negatives, more towards the C and D range, and some positives. Some A tiers come in as well. People who liked it as much or if not more than the original. But the most said answer is B, saying it fell short of its original, which I would agree with, but was still good. And that's where I would put it to. We have one movie left. And that is Frozen 2. Now, I also enjoyed this movie a lot. Do I think the sequel was better than the original? I don't. but I really liked it. Chat, what say you? What say you about Frozen 2? Okay, votes are coming in. Let me get to the top of chat. Lost my place for a second. Just need to catch up. Okay, here we go. A, original was top tier. C, top tier. C, B, top tier. A, top tier, top tier, top tier, A, top tier. So right now we have mostly A's and top tiers. D, top, B, top. People are preferring Frozen 2 over the original. Wow, I actually wasn't expecting this. So right now I'm about halfway caught up with the chat with about 15 top tier votes. A wide variety of other options, people putting it in the C, even D tier, but a large majority of people saying top tier. So we need about 30 to 40 top tiers to really push it through as I catch up with chat still. I'm still catching up. Right now, the most said answers are between both B and top tier. It doesn't look like we got enough top tiers, though, to really put it into the top tier. But with that being said, we've gotten a lot of them. We've also gotten a lot of B's and a fair amount of A's. So what it looks like is this would fall into the A list. And that's where it's going to go. I know people want to see it go into the top tier, but with 266 viewers and only 17 ratings for top tier, it just didn't get as many as the other movies that are there. So with that being said, Frozen 2 falls into our A-lister category. Now, we have to review one more. We have to re-review one more film that was asked about now that our list is completely fleshed out. And that is obviously Lilo and Stitch. People have been asking to redo this since the beginning. And I've been putting it off just because I wanted to get to this moment where our list has been completely set and the bars have been set. So we're going to do up, down, or stay. Lilo and Stitch, up, down, or stay. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, okay. You want to hear me sing? There's no place I'd rather be than on a surfboard out at sea. Did that do it? Was that enough to get it up? I search for the sunset beyond the horizon. Top, up, down, top, down, stay, top, stay, up, top. Flying high on a Hawaiian roller coaster ride. All right, guys. I love Stitch. I really do. The most said answer is stay. The most said answer is stay. With some people saying up and some people saying down, but an overwhelming majority saying stay. So while I am sorry to say Stitch will not be joining the ranks of our top tier contenders, I'm still happy, and I would agree that an A-lister is the place it belongs. And there is our post-Disney Renaissance and revival era tier list. So let's take a look at it. All right, you're calling for the poll. I will honor that, and before we close out, I will give Stitch one more chance so that we can be indefinitely sure it is where it belongs. So give me a second here to get the poll made and put in chat, and I will get you guys a poll so that we can be sure, super, super sure. Our last revaluation to be precisely accurate. Where Lilo and Stitch's final rating is going to fall. Okay. Off. Okay, chat, here it comes. Straw poll has been posted in chat. Go ahead and vote. There's three options. You can vote for it to be top tier, A, where it is right now, or go down to B. Whatever the most said vote is where Stitch is going to remain or end up. We have 42 votes in so far, with A being the most said answer with 23 of those votes. 55 votes with A still leading. 61 votes, A. Top tier starting to catch up. The spread's really getting tight now. Right now we have 72 votes in, with A being the number one rated vote, having 47% of the vote. Top tier coming in second with 27% of the vote, and B with 25% of the vote. I'm going to refresh it one more time in about 10 seconds, and that will be our final answer. So, dun 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 dun. That's enough of that. Don't want to get a copyright strike. All right, the final votes are in. Stitch remains in the A list. It's the fair. Somebody's asking where the poll is. So I will relink the poll and give people 30 more seconds, just for the people who haven't seen it. So the poll is back in chat now. I want to make sure everyone gets a chance to vote, because it is close. It's very close. Where is Brother Bear 2 from 2006? I didn't include every single movie, but I don't even remember Brother Bear 2. Don't even remember it. I do about the same amount of movies in each list. I take all the ones that everyone knows, and then a good mix of the lesser known ones. All right. That is enough time to vote. And there it is. Stitch remains in the A-lister. That is where it's going to remain. We did it the fairest way that we could with that poll. But here is our tier list, guys. Here is what we have come up with. Our top tier contenders being Tangled, Princess and the Frog, Frozen, Zootopia, and Mallanna. Our A-listers being Lilo and Stitch, Meet the Robinsons, Wreck-It Ralph, Big Hero 6, and Frozen 2. Our B-list being Winnie the Pooh, Brother Bear, and Ralph Breaks the Internet. Our C-listers, Atlantis, Treasure Planet, and Bolt. Our D-list, Return to Neverland and Chicken Little. And the bottom of the list is Jungle Book 2, Bambi 2, Home on the Range, and the Hufflepuff movie. So guys, that is going to conclude our tier list for today, and that is also going to conclude our Disney animated film era series. We will be doing more in the future. Not confirmed on what tier list we're going to do next, but we got a lot of cool ideas coming in from the comments and chat. So stay tuned for that. If you missed our previous tier list, you can check out our playlist category and check out Disney tier lists. We have all of them up there. And I think we did a pretty good job, but if you disagree, you can always head over to tierlist.com where I generate all these tier lists from. I did make these myself, and you can go ahead and take it and make your own. Share your results with us on Facebook or even Instagram, wherever you most visit social media, and show us how your results differ from ours today. And people are asking about Pixar movies. Coco is Pixar. Yep. People are asking about Pixar movies, so we did do some Pixar movies. Our first animated film tier list was movies from all times, all over. So you can check that out too. I believe Coco fared pretty well in that, either top tier or A list. But if we did revisit Pixar, it would be a Pixar exclusive list. So I think we can definitely check that out in the future as well as live action. We can check out live action in its own list as well too. But that is going to do it for today's tier list. Thank you so much, chat, for playing along as always. If you could, on your way out, smash the thumbs up button. It does help these videos out a ton. And I will check you in the next one. Hope to see you all with whatever topic we decide to do next. Definitely expect something with restaurants. Probably do that with the rest of the team. One of those things that we'll probably do together. And as far as stuff I might be doing on my own that you can maybe expect soon, I think songs would be really fun. That was a great suggestion, and that could be a lot of fun. And you could hear my beautiful voice so much more. But until next time, everybody, have a great one.